What's up, everyone, and welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we plunder on ahead with episode 6 of Skeleton Crew, titled Zero Friends Again. Clearly a subtle commentary on Leslie Headland. Anyway, spoilers ahead. You've been warned. We begin with the kids taking a break from being pillaging and plundering pirates to enjoy the Jabba's Intestines water slides at the Hut's Butt water park before they get popped out like turds. By the time they reach the bottom, Cyclops is dead, and Neil pretends to care so that he can claim her stuff. But she's fine, and just looking for attention, so the kids call her bluff and roll her over to perform an enema to test her resolve. Meanwhile, Nawood emerges from his New Year's Eve celebration, but nobody else appreciates him being this drunk at 10 a.m. Urkel the pirate finally catches up to the infamous Captain Silvo, who he takes prisoner, despite Silvo blowing smoke up his butt, saying he deserved an Emmy for his work on Family Matters. They pull some piece of treasure off Silvo that won't stop vibrating, but Silvo orders Smee to attack. But he's also been partying, and his reflexes have clearly suffered. And then Madonna's ghost begins haunting Silvo. But the New Republic shows up, forcing the pirates to scatter, and Smee is so drunk that he has to be carried away. The kids watch and cheer as the X-Wings destroy the pirates' ships, waving at the X-Wings to honk as they pass by, but they're left hanging. Cyclops conveniently has all the information on how to get home uploaded to her brain, but she's having an episode, and she and Ferngully argue over emotions. Meanwhile, the bad toys from Toy Story have all gotten crabs, and they swarm Neil and Wim. Ferngully wants to free climb the cliff face back to the ship, and even Cyclops tells her that's a stupid idea. But Neil is so desperate to get a girlfriend that he goes with her, as everyone goes through a group breakup. On the other side of the galaxy, the vampire wolf declares Captain Silvo guilty of calling Space Urkel a butt pirate, and he gets sentenced to death. But this hag speaks up for him, and he gets one last chance to say his piece. Time he uses to talk about how hungry he is, rallying all of the other pirates to make a late-night burger run, and everyone's really excited about it. But first, he suggests that they stop by Atten on the way and pick up more of these. Brutus agrees, but he tells Silvo that if there's any mayonnaise on his burger, he'll be walking the space plank. Back on Lanupa, Wim and Cyclops are following the misfit toys, and Wim is fantasizing about killing Smee when he notices that Cyclops has collapsed. She says her metal headgear is corroded and somehow that means her legs don't work. And ignoring Wim's comments calling her a lazy bitch, she explains that if he can collect 10 of these items from enemies in the area, he can complete his quest and get her back on her feet. Elsewhere, Neil is finding it hard to climb up the cliffside in the wake of Ferngully's toxic gas cloud. Wim returns from his fetch quest, and Cyclops walks him through performing what is essentially brain surgery on her. But Wim loses interest and goes back to playing with his trash toys, leaving her brains hanging out the back of her skull. Wim's distractions get really carried away when he starts freebasing, and he eventually just slams her sloppy brains back in her head and then she's back up and at him. Ferngully is forced to drag Neil's fat trunk up the ladder, and they see their ship being towed after it's been sitting in a loading zone. The trash crabs lead Cyclops and Wim to King Crab, and Ferngully and Neil yell Cowabunga as they jump onto one of the tow ships. Ferngully pilots the ship low enough to save Wim and Cyclops, but King Crab gets the last laugh, destroying one of the other tow ships, leaving the kids to crash. But they're fine, and they just do a lot of hugging. Over the hill, their ship is about to be consumed by a trash droid, so they run on board and try and get the ship off the ground. Everyone has different ideas on how to get out of the situation, however, with Cyclops whacking the ship with a baseball bat and Wim shooting things. Ferngully's bright idea is to press the big red self-destruct button, which somehow leads to the Onyx Cinder shedding its skin, and the kids escape in their sleek new ship as the episode comes to an end. So I don't think there's too much to say about this one. There was some more fun and some more adventure like there is in most of these episodes. It certainly wasn't the most consequential episode, with it just moving the story a couple steps forward. And it's a bit on the filler side. And clearly this was Cyclops' episode to get some character development, someone who's been mostly a blank slate up to this point. Her character is supposed to be portraying someone with autism or a related disorder, so her antisocial episodes are kind of jarring. On the story front, Nawood aka Captain Silvo and the rest of the pirates are now en route to Atten, and the kids will be on their way home too, so I suspect some final showdown to take place there over the last 2 episodes of the season. And even though the mystery about the kids' home planet looks to be mostly solved, I'm still fairly intrigued on why the pirate's holo recording in the last episode was blurred, why we don't know anything about At-Adden's administrator yet, etc. Hopefully there are some satisfying answers to those kinds of questions, and they're not just loose ends. Lastly, the ship shedding its skin was certainly unique, and it's a little weird to think another ship was just hiding inside the other ship like Russian nesting dolls. But the ship that came out of it was pretty sleek and cool looking. What did you think about this episode? Do you think Skeleton Crew was well positioned to bring everything home in the last 2 episodes? Do you think we should have gotten more scenes about the parents back home working on getting their children back? Do you think the parents even took days off work, or are they only trying to get their kids home in their free time? Let us know in the comments below. Also remember to like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to HateWatchers to stay up to date on Skeleton Crew. Thank you for irresponsibly ringing in the new year with us today. Happy New Year, and we'll catch you on the next one.